Good day, IHPA members. During annual conference, it was noted that the membership would really like some more openness from their board, some more transparency on upcoming events, just that the only time of the year they really get to hear from their board is at annual conference. And while I might argue that we do have the Facebook page, we do have the regular website that we're constantly posting stuff on there, I'm going ahead and trying to do some YouTube vlogs here to go ahead and keep you guys informed. I mean, that was some of those comment cards that you guys filled out at annual conference, was to get us to take a few extra steps here. So, with that being said, if you didn't stay to the end of conference, thereafter those big prizes were awarded and stuff, I was brought up to the mic to announce the speakers for next year's conference. Typically, we don't have those set until a few months after conference, maybe the, February of that next year, we'll get those guys solidified. But going back a year ago, when I took over the presidency, I really wanted to try and step up our game for conference, And we always hear about these guys being booked. And that's what we face. So rather than waiting until that year rolled around, I already started making plans for 2023. I met with Sherry, and she's our event coordinator. I got her blessing for me to proactively go out on my own and secure the speakers for 2023. Part of that was because there's a big portion of the speaker budget for 2023 that I'm actually funding myself as a donation. I'd rather not disclose that amount publicly, but it was enough there that Sherry was like, "Oh, Jason, go ahead, and you take care of the speakers for that year. As long as you're filling me in and keeping me in the loop, you're not stepping on anybody's toes." So anyhow, those speakers, the first one here is Jamie Ellis. I personally know Jamie Ellis. He was at the University of Florida when I was doing all of my master beekeeping training. I did 5 years worth of their courses there. At the time, I had flight benefits, and I could commute back and forth whenever I wanted, and I could do their certifications just fine. But anyhow, Jamie Ellis was one of the instructors for the program, and he's the head of the entomology division there, at least with honeybees, for the University of Florida. And for those of you that don't know, the University of Florida has the largest entomology department in the United States. And they actually, over the last few years, have built a standalone structure that is, in beekeeping terms, for any other university, ginormous. This standalone facility that's dedicated just to honeybees, it houses multiple offices for instructors. It has laboratories. It has a giant courtyard that has an apiary set up in it. It has a section of the building that has not both, but has a commercial extraction line. It has a sideliner extraction line and a hobbyist setup. So anybody that is pursuing information, pursuing a degree in entomology and wants to specialize in Apis mellifera or any of the other honeybee species, they can go ahead and have all the hands-on training there. They also can, I shouldn't say fall because we're talking Florida. Florida has 11 stinking nectar flows, so at any time of the year, if they have honey on their hives, they can go ahead and run it through their own setup. So anyhow, University of Florida, huge advocates for honeybees, and Jamie Ellis, not only is he one of the top people in his field, he is also one of the most charismatic and lovely people to talk to or have a presentation from. Words just roll off of his tongue like butter, okay? So you're going to love his presentations. And I know I've gone on and on here, but I know the most about Jamie. Anyhow, next one on my list here is Marla Spivak. We've had Marla a few times over the last few years. And son of a gun, that sunlight's just going to creep into my video. I better make this shorter. But Marla's out of Minnesota with the University of Minnesota. Again, a top-notch entomologist who specializes in honeybees. Keith Delaplane. Everybody knows Keith Delaplane. He's actually a former professor and colleague of Jamie Ellis. Then we have Tom Seeley. Tom Seeley will be zooming in for this conference prior to COVID and everybody making Zoom popular. Tom had already stopped with his circuit of traveling around just for health reasons and other concerns of his life. He just does Zoom now. But still, Honeybee Democracy and any of his other work that people have looked into that you might have read at home, fabulous speaker, fabulous information there. And last but definitely not least, Canadian commercial beekeeper Ian Steppler. Just a fantastic lineup for your 2023. To be completely honest, once I had gotten Jamie Ellis secured, I just trusted his opinion so much. I was like, Jamie, if you had carte blanche pick of anybody out there that you could co-host a conference, an event like this with, who would your dream team be? And then these were the names he gave. He had one other on there, which was Bob Binney. And, well, as you all know, we just had Bob Binney the year before this last conference. So while I wanted to get Bob also in the hat trick there, it was thought that we might have a few too many people in our stellar lineup there for you guys to really partake. Having 5 knockout speakers, we'll probably have fewer speeches from them. Rather than each person taking 2 or 3 a day, we'll probably have 1 or 2 a day. And I am working with my event coordinator on maybe staggering stuff a little differently. In past years, it's basically big speaker, breakout sessions, big speaker, and then dinner that evening with another fantastic speech done there at the dinner. Well, what we could possibly do is big speaker, and if you weren't interested in that particular talk from the big speaker, there could be like 2 breakout sessions at the same time. And then big speaker and 2 breakout sessions. And we could also have it that the breakout sessions repeat that day. So if you really wanted to hear a breakout session on mead making, that's just a hypothetical suggestion, a hypothetical title there. And it was during one of the talks that you absolutely loved and wanted to go to, the big talks. You might see that 4 hours later, it's hosted on a talk on a big talk on mating rituals of mites. I don't know. So, some other technical talk that you aren't as interested in, and then you could go ahead and do the breakout session of mead making and pick up a different breakout session on candle wax pouring, something of that nature. But anyhow, it's just something we're toying around with. It's definitely not official, but it would allow us to have big talk all throughout the day, get some breakout sessions in there, and just change up the dynamics of annual conference a little bit for you. Anyhow, I'm Jason Foley, your president of IHPA, and I hope this blogging goes over well with you guys for sharing some of the information we got on tap. Take care.